Well, good morning. My name's John Grady. I'm the Regional Construction Engineer for New York State DOT Region 1, and I want to welcome you here to the Lake Champlain Bridge project. First, I'd like to apologize for any inconvenience we may have caused a couple weeks ago when we postponed the event on the 19th. On that day, both the press event in the morning and the public event in the afternoon were both canceled, and we've rescheduled them for today. I know it was reported in some of the media outlets that the event was not canceled and that it occurred anyways. What I do want to say is that Jim Bonney and I were here that day, and quite a few of the public arrived in the afternoon, hadn't heard it was canceled. So out of courtesy and respect for those folks, we did do a brief update for them here standing by the project. Gave them a quick overview of the project and told them it would be rescheduled in the next couple of weeks. So I just wanted to clarify that. There was also a report after that event that the bridge would be open in August, which is not correct. We hope to lift the main arch into place in August, but we're still shooting for our planned goal of having this bridge open by October 9th, 2011. So those are two things I just wanted to correct.
Was October 9th the date it closed? I can't remember.
No, it was originally closed on October 16th.
Okay, 16th.
October 9th comes from the fact that the contractor has contractually 500 days to build the bridge after the contract was awarded. If you go from the date of award plus 500 days, it comes out to October 9th, 2011. Why we're gathered here is we've really reached a kind of a critical milestone in the early project, completion of this project. We recently have completed what I'll call our deep foundation work. This bridge is supported on, and I can use this picture best, 32 shafts across the lake supporting the 6 piers that are in the water. 6 of the 7 piers are in water. The 7th pier is up on the Vermont shore on rock. It's on a spread footing on rock. And one of the most difficult things in building this bridge was getting these deep foundations into the lake. Some of them extend well over 100 feet below the water. They're 6-foot diameter steel shafts that are pushed through the mud into the rock. We drill them into the rock, we clean out the rock, and then we put a rebar cage and fill them with concrete. All 32 of those shafts have been completed as of just a few days ago. So the deep water work is now complete. So that takes you through this, the bottom portion, the foundation work. We then have to build these pier caps that span over those pods of 4 or 6 shafts, depending on which pier you're at. That work is now underway. When we're working in shallow areas, we're doing that in coffer-dams, traditional coffer-dams, dewatering them, working. In deep water, the 3 main center spans, the piers 4, 5, and 6 out in the middle of the lake, we're using what's called water-tight enclosures. Afterwards, I can point to you and show you how that works out there, and we're doing those. So. Although we're still working in the water, we are no longer working deep in the water, and we're working within watertight enclosures, which is a good thing when you're building a bridge to get out of the water. So we've reached that critical point here where we're no longer working underwater where we can't see. Pretty much now everything we're doing is above water and we have control of. Just to give you an idea of where we're going after that, as we work our way across the lake building the piers, once we get the piers in place, starting sometime later this month, we'll start to set approach steel, starting on the Vermont side. We'll start spanning across with our approach steel, building both from both ends, with the goal of sometime later next summer having those approaches both in, and our arch span, which is going to be fabricated off-site and will be floated in a one-day operation using a heavy lift method, lifted into place. We're looking to do that late in the summer of 2011. That does not complete the bridge. That arch section will still need to be decked, and we'll be putting a concrete deck on that arch using a precast method. So pretty much the way the work is going to go, as I said, we've completed most of our foundation work in deep water. We're now building pier caps and piers. You can see those forming across. I'm glad to see we stripped one since I was last here. You can see a pier on the Vermont side. The next step over there, starting later this month and continuing through the winter, will be the setting of steel on the approach spans, followed by eventually the arch being lifted into place late next year, all with our still trying to reach our goal of having this bridge completed and open to traffic by October 9th. the last section of this sign. These are signboards. We'll have some of these mounted around the project soon. The approaches, obviously, on both sides need to be done, and those will be done during next summer when the weather's much better. And with that, I guess I could try to answer any question.
How is the project on target for where it should be today?
We are on target with the schedule that the department developed for this project, and are still shooting to have this bridge open by October 9th of 2011.
But it's on target of where it should be in the project as of today.
We're on target with the schedule that the department developed for the project.
What about the, challenges I guess you might face? Obviously today it's pretty unseasonably warm, but as the weather cools and we get snow and that sort of thing, what challenges you may or may not be facing?
It certainly is a very difficult site to work at in the winter. The ice is not kind to us. We'll be using a variety of methods to break ice during the winter so we can continue to work throughout the winter. We did it all last year to take the old bridge down, and we learned from what was going on there. Wind is not our friend. This can be a very windy site. This is probably the calmest it's been in quite a while. But the operations that we plan to do throughout the winter can be done throughout the winter, and we intend to continue working straight through the winter on this project.
What's the public's reaction been to all of this as you've updated them through the process?
The public has been very positive. I think they're very glad to see the progression of the work, to see the mass of equipment that's out there. It's good to start to see pieces that are above water, like you can see on the Vermont side, and after we're done here, I can certainly try to point some of that stuff out for you folks. I think they appreciate how fast the work the bridge was designed and the work is going. And the ferry is up and running and is doing a good job at helping to maintain the traffic.
What kind of questions did you get the other day when people came?
People were generally asking us about, what work was next. A lot of the local folks are very interested in understanding what we're doing, what the sequence and progression of the work is. They're not understanding sometimes what they see going on. So a lot of the questions are just to understand what we're doing, and of course they always ask, when's it going to be done? When we're going to have our bridge? And as I said, we're still on target for meeting the department's schedule.
How many people working on this project, and what percentage of them are Vermonters and New Yorkers?
I don't have that data on the Vermont-New York split. The workforce has been averaging 100 to 120, the contractor tells me, craft workers. It varies with the work and the type of work, different subcontractors, different operations. The folks who were here putting foundations in are not here anymore, obviously. That work is done, so different folks have moved in. But they were averaging around 100 or a little more in people working on the bridge.
Will that ramp down during the winter?
It will go up and down depending on the work. And as I said, different trades and different crews will be here depending on the work going on. When we get into the steel, obviously we'll have different steel crews than are out doing concrete work underwater now.
Do you have a sense of the average salary that they're being paid?
I do not. The job, as all New York State DOT jobs, are required to pay New York State prevailing wages, which are certainly published by the Labor Department.
Now, I've gone through here sometimes at night, and it appears they're working at night. Are the workers working around the clock?
Not quite round the clock. Right now we're running 2 10-hour shifts on most days. So we're working 20 hours a day, 2 10-hour shifts.
Is that expected to continue through the winter?
It will continue at any time when it's beneficial to do that. If there's work that can be done, the contractor intends to work that way.
In terms of costs, are you guys also on track right now?
Well, we certainly, our projects are a bid process where they get paid for the bid items they do. There's always changes and modifications to projects, and certainly we'll have some change orders that we process for conditions that we've encountered and change. But generally, yes, we're still on track with our budget. We haven't had any huge overruns by any means. We still got a long year to go, but right now everything budget-wise seems to be working well.
What is that budget?